What's happening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of The Final Third. We've got a nice new intro now, which is like really fun to just vibe to, listen to that commentary, get really hyped about it, and then boom, you hear my voice. And that's definitely some juxtaposition. Want to introduce my favorite co-hosts, Mr. BettingThePitch and MrBradThomas. And as always, it is your boy Sam, aka FIFA Brit. Gentlemen, we didn't really have much time between podcasts. We had a little bit of midweek action and a few good games, but really not much going on. But now we're properly eyes on the prize going into the final weekend of the Premier League. So walk me through the past 2 days that we haven't spent with each other, and then we're ready, baby. We're ready to dive into it.
I had an amazing, what day was that? Wednesday? Amazing Wednesday. Juventus won Coppa Italia in absolute dominating defensive performance. The refs tried to screw them 3 times in the match, and it felt nice because, I don't know, my pessimism maybe had me feel like we weren't going to win. I normally do something for our cup finals, I don't know, I'll make a chip and dip, have people over. I watched it in my office because I was so nervous, but it was really nice. Send Allegri off with another title, another trophy. That's 10 trophies in his Juventus career. Now it's time for the new regime to take over.
Really had to rub in that defensive performance, huh?
Yeah, real nice, Brad. Real nice.
Felt so bad.
I had one more goal, just one more goal from anyone. I don't care who it was. I needed over 1.5, and just 4 minutes in the game, goal. I'm like, this is gonna be cake. Nothing. Goal taken away.
Goal taken away. Should have been a penalty too.
Should have been a penalty. Oh, dude, it was just. It's been a couple of those days. It's really has. It's been brutal. I've been definitely a little cold of late. Just not getting bounces, not getting calls. It just happens, unfortunately, and it sucks. But it's missing by one shot, missing by one goal, missing by one leg. You name it. VAR overturning a goal, penalties not being called. Things like that, where goals scored 4 minutes into the game, and I just need one more goal for the rest of the match and nothing.
Makes no sense.
But
Stuff happens.
It's frustrating, It's frustrating because you feel and I know a lot of people on Twitter and X make fun of when people say things "Oh, it was the right read, just didn't get there," But it feels like that. It feels like, okay, I made the right read. It didn't get there. But I'm excited. I think that I'm kind of excited, honestly, for the season to end and for some Euros and Copa America. Truthfully, I think all these guys are just they're done with the club footy right now. It just feels like that. Today, with Barca, I needed over 2.5. Facing a bottom of the table team, and they can only get 2 goals. They and they didn't even look that good. They're passing, we were talking about in the chat.
Oh
passing
my fucking god! Yo,
it's just nothing... everyone just looks uninterested lately, and it just sucks.
There's nothing worse than having a bet for the first half, and then the player still plays really well in the first half, so you can't even be mad at them, and then they play just as well in the second half, and you're just fuck, I left so much value on the table. Yeah. I am, of course, talking about Fermin Lopez, who for the past few weeks has been an absolute wagon for shots. I noticed this guy, I think it was in El Clasico, when he came off the bench and ripped 2 or 3 shots, had a goal in that game. And I was just okay, I knew about him before, but I kind of just didn't really rate him that much. Yeah. But I started paying attention to him more after El Clasico. And I was okay, if this guy starts, I'm going to back him for some shots, because this guy clearly wants to rip, and Barca basically have nothing to play for. So it's time to start, showboating and, impressing. So you start looking good. And then the first time I bet him, his shots were so nice. They've gone down so much recently. But the first time I bet him 3 or 4 weeks ago, he was 22-1 for 3 first half shots, and he hit it right at the last minute. And I was just that was sick. And then I kept going back to him, and he kept doing it. So I was oh, this is fucking awesome. Bet him today against the lowest team in the league. He gets the goal 14 minutes in, And then he spends the rest of that half as a center mid, making so many like forward runs, like great movement, like playing really well, moving off the ball and making himself available. And the passing was fucking horrific. And then just to rub it in, he gets one shot on target at the last kick of the half. And then he got a quarter out of it. And I was just like, yo, just let it bounce to him in the box. Just let him get a swipe at it or something. No, it falls to the head of Inigo Martinez. And I'm just like, bro, what are you doing here? And then he scores again in the second half. Dude had 4 shots on target.
In the second half, 4 shots.
I know he did. Yeah.
4 shots on target, 2 goals, and I still get hooked on the. In hindsight, I probably should have led and taken 2 and 3 first half shots, but I was like, 2 was like plus 250, and I was like, usually if he gets 2, he gets 3. So let me just make it a half unit play and stick to that rather than going a full unit and risk not getting anything out of it. So it is what it is. I probably played it wrong, but it kind of be mad at him because the dude played well. But
yeah,
he's a guy to keep an eye on because I love.
He's good. He's good.
Shots.
He's good.
Yeah.
I also feel like the keepers lately have been like prime Neuer. Like I don't know what it is, but honestly, like I'm like looking at it and it's like the XGs are crazy with no goals. The keepers are making like 6-7 saves. Like it was happening in MLS. Saturday night, and I'm just like, MLS keepers don't make fucking saves. Like, what is going on? I mean, like, literally brick walls these past couple days. It's been crazy.
Yeah.
On Wednesday, not Saturday. Wednesday. Yeah, the mid MLS.
I got so excited by midweek MLS coming back because I'm like, fuck yes, more MLS to bet on. It's usually a really electric league. Then I forgot that these motherfuckers can't handle more than 1 game a week.
Holy fuck!
Yeah,
like you're not kidding.
Like last season,
rotating and everything. I'm like, dude, you're like 15 games in. Like, come on, and it's just
They have the squad depth is just not there. And I just completely forgot that last season, any team that was still playing in like CONCACAF Champions League or any of those tournaments like that, whenever they were playing their midweek fixtures, I was just like, yo, just auto fade them, like double chance, do a double chance or an under on the weekend because they are just not ready for it. Like LAFC last season had like such a terrible run of form when they were still competing outside. Then as soon as they came back, completely different squad. As soon as it gets back to like 1 game a week with the occasional Wednesday MLS game, there's like such a difference. And I was just like, I completely forgot that these guys can't handle 2 games in a week. And it's crazy. Now, sometimes that gives you like nice value if they put in like a random guy at striker and you're like, well, fuck yeah, I can bet his goal. I can bet his shots. This guy's going to look to impress. But outside of that, it's just like, wow, you guys got to work on your fitness and your rotation because this is brutal.
Yep.
That being said, the last game of the night was fucking awesome. San Jose Portland. That was a sick game. There was a red card that should not have been a red card, but that game ended like 4-2, and it was great. And there was
they scored 4 goals after that red card.
Yeah, and there was a raccoon on the field in the NYCFC Philly game, which was sick. And like this raccoon was like that. They like the MLS Fair Play has been like milking that whole incident for like so much content. They dropped they said, "Fuck it, raccoon highlights." And they put the whole like 5-minute clip of the guy on the field. They dropped the
Dortmund tweeted about it, how like they're gonna sign him or something.
They dropped the heat map of the raccoon. The guy's called they've called him Brachinio now, and Topps have released a card. They're selling it for $8, and I will be buying it. Well, I can spend $8 on a Brachinio official Topps card. Yeah, that sounds awesome.
That's so funny.
That's peak MLS. You don't get that anywhere else.
No. Nope.
So funny. Well, the midweek games were actually quite fun. I tell you what, the Premier League games are actually a lot of fun to watch because Chelsea didn't look brilliant, but they got a result away from home, which is like fair play. Yeah. You guys usually don't do that. And then Newcastle Man U was basically everything I could have possibly wanted it to be.
Oh my God.
Such a fun game.
I'm so pissed that Man U scored so early and then Newcastle in 2 minutes got 3 corners. And I was like, well, there goes my bet. But I live bet Newcastle corners at halftime. I don't know what the books think. Like when Newcastle goes down a goal, they're just mad aggressive. And all I needed were 3 corners in the entire second half. 3 corners.
That's crazy.
I was just chilling. I hammered as much as I possibly responsibly hammered it as much as I could. And I was like,
let's be honest.
I was
Hey.
sitting there, I was like, all right, well,
Hey, for our audience out there, we responsibly hammered things, okay?
yes, it was nice. It cashed so early. It cashed like, I don't know, in the 65th minute or something.
That's
Yeah, that was a good
beautiful.
game. That was a good game. That's what we were looking
Great
for.
game.
We were talking about goals. We got goals. United finally actually showed up, produced
I
some
feel like Sam got his
offense.
shots. Did you get your shots in there? Because
Yeah, baby, I got
Yeah.
all my shots. Well, not quite all my shots, but if I'm nitpicking over a like 130-1 lotto, then it's all right. No, I wish Garnacho had got a third because I took that straight as well because that was like plus 450, and I'm just like, this dude rips so much. He ended on 2, and he just got beaten to the ball at the edge of the box with like the last minute. And I was just like, if he just got there, I know he would have ripped that. But yeah, I said I was going to ladder Palmer, Garnacho, and Isak. Isak got 2 shots in the first 2 minutes. Palmer had like 5 in the first half. He was ripping all over the place, and then Garnacho got 2. So I got my Bildo. I got the Isak, Palmer, and Garnacho for 2 first half shots each. So that was a 10-1. And then I'm happy McTominay finally delivered because this dude's been playing attacking mid a couple of games in a row now. And I was just like,
McTominay?
couple of first half shots. He was I paired him with Adingra on Brighton because I was like, look, Brighton are at home, and Pedro, usually I trust João Pedro for shots if he's playing attacking mid or on the wing. When he's playing a striker, it's a similar situation at Man U where like when Rashford was playing at striker, he wouldn't shoot the ball at all, but if he's playing at left wing, then he would. And it's just like, but both these clubs really struggle to like service their strikers. That sounds weird, but you know what I mean.
No.
Like they just can't get they just can't get service into the box for their striker to get onto, and so it's kind of more reliant on guys like Bruno if you're playing attacking mid or whoever's playing on the wings to sort of like carry the ball forward, and then if they can't find an angle, they usually shoot. So I was like, they hung like plus 250 on Adingra for a couple of first half shots, and I was like, well, he's going to rip. Like Chelsea's defense is brilliant. And I paired it with McTominay for 2 first half shots, which is like plus 350. And it all came out to like 12-1. And McTominay got the last shot of the half. So I was just like, fuck yeah, let's go.
I think McTominay shot on target. His price was really low, like minus 120, something like 112, one of the two.
It's always in play. Yeah, it's always in play, especially when he's playing attacking mid because he's just going to be involved. It's just like, he's so fucking slow. He got outpaced by Dan Burn. And I'm just like, bro, what? No, just... You got to be better than that, dude. You can't be getting outpaced by Newcastle's like third string defenders here. This is embarrassing. But those games were a lot of fun. Do you guys see the championship games? Because those actually got really exciting.
I saw the Leeds game because I bet Leeds first half corners. Wait, Leeds first half corners didn't make any sense to me, and I feel like an idiot for only doing half a unit. It was minus 1.5 for plus money, knowing that Nurkic wasn't going to do any kind of going forward in that game.
Wow.
I think they won it like 5 or 6-2, and I wish I put more than half a unit on it, but
Norwich are pathetic. I don't get, and I feel like the same thing is going to happen tomorrow. Both the lower seeded teams, so Norwich were the home team against Leeds in the first leg, and West Brom were the home team against Southampton in the first leg. Both those games ended 0-0. I'm just like, what? This is your one chance.
One chance.
So like, you're at home. You have all your fans here. At least make a fucking effort and try and score, because you're unless you think you can do the exact same thing at the second leg as well and just hope that you scrape by on pens. But against Leeds, and then tomorrow, well, I guess today, because this podcast will be going up tomorrow, when West Brom plays Southampton, you can't, you're going to have to do something. It's just like your chance to do something was the first leg. And
I was thinking the same thing looking at it today. Like I was scared to do anything in that game because of how it ended in the first leg 0-0. And like, if you just look at the stats and how the game was played, it was so slow. There wasn't a lot of chances. There wasn't much going on. And I'm like, all right, like, and I'm like, is it really gonna be that different in the second leg, or is it gonna be like similar? And obviously Leeds came out firing. And so I was looking at obviously tomorrow/today's slate, and it's like, I wonder if Southampton's going to do the same thing. Like, I wonder if they're just going to come out and just absolutely destroy West Brom.
Their team total is minus 120 right now.
Yeah.
And their money line's minus 140. I bet you the team total closes at minus 150 and the game closes at like minus 180, minus 190.
I could see that. I hope because I think we all deserve. I mean, the fact that one out of Leeds or Southampton is not going to be going up is just crazy to me. I mean, I think Leeds are the first team in championship history to finish on 90 points and not get automatic promotion, which is insane.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, they really fumbled it at the end.
Yeah, so many. Those top four teams all fumbled it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yes, they did.
Leicester were like 15 points clear, and then
No.
they just like lost so many games in a row, and then they just like did the lean forward meme and were like, fuck it, we'll do it anyway.
Mhm.
Like we wanted to make it exciting, but then all those teams like second, third, fourth place, none of them wanted it, and they all lost really stupid games.
It was just crazy. Like there was just games where it was like, all right, this is a must win for Leeds, and like they lost 1-0, or it was like 0-0, and I'm like, what is going? And like they just looked lost. I'm like, what are they playing right now?
Absolutely crazy. But I'm looking forward to that one. That's really like the only Friday action that I think could be like a really interesting game. But honestly, it's kind of nice to have like a little chill day. Like I only bet on the Barca game for for Thursday. I'll probably look at this championship game for Friday, but nice to have a couple of days off before this absolute crazy weekend slate, which is time to get into right now. Look at that transition. See how clean that was? Yeah, that was really nice. But thank you.
The whiskey's hitting.
Yeah, that was good. But wait, we're already halfway through the glass of whiskey too. So
that's like when you make out with a chick and you're like, "Oh my god, that was the best kiss of your life, wasn't it?"
Is that what it's like, Brad? Is that what it's like?
And she's just like, yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, go.
Yeah, good job. Yep, good job.
Damn, that's crazy. That's
That
crazy.
you got.
Wow. We're taking this podcast to a place that I'm enjoying. Yeah, flipped on its head there. But let's get into this slate. So we have a couple of leagues playing their final games this weekend, which is nice because, good to wrap that up. And then it will kind of be just sort of like chugging along before Champions League, which is a few weeks away. But on Saturday, we have the final weekend of the Bundesliga.
Yeah.
Now, everyone's going to be looking at Leverkusen. Unfortunately, they're basically unbettable unless you feel like paying for a team total over 2.5, which honestly I might, but it really depends what the lineup they put out. But this is their last game to go undefeated for the league season, and then it's just going to be the DFK Pokal final and the Europa League final, and that's basically, win your finals. And even if they lose on penalties, they would technically still maintain that record, which I personally think is bullshit, but they could technically do that.
Yeah, that game's hard to bet. I do like Leipzig corners in that. I don't think the number's out. Oh, the number's out now.
Who the fuck's Leipzig? We're not talking about them.
I clipped on Leipzig. I like Leverkusen over 6.5 corners, -2.5 corner handicap. I just don't like taking teams to score 3 goals unless they have like
it's a lot of goals,
especially when like the line's hella juiced.
Yeah.
These lines are juiced. I mean, I was interested in both teams to score and over 2.5, but that's like -165, 170. Both teams to score is
welcome to the Bundesliga.
I know both teams to score sitting at -200. Just there's nothing playable. I mean, Augsburg have something to play for. I mean, they technically could sneak into a European spot with a win, and I think they got to score like 3 goals or 4 goals or something like that. They have to win by 3 or 4. So you got to think they're just going to go for it. And obviously Leverkusen at home with the record and everything like that. So I feel like there's going to be goals in this game. I just don't want to take over 3.5 or over 4. So
that's fair enough. Yeah, I think the best case scenario is Augsburg take a lead and we can live bet Leverkusen double chance. That's really the best way to bet that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I want a piece of this game, but like I feel like it's going to be go from the jump, and you're not going to be able to catch much live. I'm hoping I'm wrong. Like it'd be awesome it'd be awesome for like the 10-15 minutes of just nothing, and then maybe you can get like over 3 live, like the Asian total or something like that at a decent number, and I would hammer that. I would like that because I think 2-3 goals in this game is definitely going to happen.
That's fair enough. And then we have a relegation battle going on, which is interesting and also kind of sad because Union Berlin were in the Champions League, which is just, and this is it's just miserable. I hope this doesn't happen to teams like like Stuttgart and who got in from France? Brest got top 4. So, I love seeing teams kind of, take out the bigger dogs and make it into Champions League. But if your solution after that is to then just like gut your club and not do anything with the money, what was the point? What was the point of it? So it would be sad to see Union Berlin go down here, but honestly, I feel like it would be hard to defend them considering.
Dude, it's hard. It's hard to get it's hard to think of why you'd want them to stay up. Like they were so shit all year, man.
I know.
Like
It's crazy.
So shit.
But they're in a decent, well, not decent, it's still out of their hands, but Union Berlin play against Freiburg and they have the home advantage. So if they get a win there, then that basically puts them. Mainz are 2 points ahead. They're on 32 points, and Berlin are on 30. The problem is if Mainz get a draw, the goal difference is like 12. They have like a 12 better goal difference. So Berlin need to win, and you need Mainz to lose. And Mainz play against Wolfsburg away. So
Wolfsburg have been playing better too.
They have. They've got 3 wins in their last 4, and they're playing at home. And so it's not an easy game by any means, but Mainz also haven't lost a game since they lost to Bayern back in March, which is crazy. I got it right here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 8 games. 8 games they haven't lost in, and Berlin need them to lose.
I like this Berlin Freiburg game to go over 2.5. It's at even money, plus 100. Nice. Both teams need to win. If both teams, Freiburg's playing for a European spot, and then Union Berlin's playing to crawl out of relegation. So, to me, this is a game where both teams need 3 points. A draw is not going to get them anywhere. So they're going to go for it. So over 2.5 at plus money, even both teams to score at like minus 140. It's a little high for me, but I don't hate it. If you wanted to maybe wait, 10 minutes into the game and try and grab it at like 120, I would really like that better. But yeah, I in a game like this with like this situation and this scenario, I mean, you got to think goals are going to come and when both teams need to win.
I like that a lot.
What's the number for both teams to score?
It's like 140, minus 140.
That's not bad. That's not bad in a desperation game. I was kind of leaning the under in Mainz versus Wolfsburg versus Mainz, but because I just don't trust Mainz to score multiple goals. I think Wolfsburg can shut it down even when desperation sets in. I'll probably dig in a little bit deeper, but pass for me.
Well, they know that a draw is enough, really, because Berlin are not going to win, 13-0.
Yeah, no.
And if that happens, then hands up, hands up. If you play for a draw in Berlin, win 13-0, then
you're like,
that's a movie. That's sick.
Yeah,
but that's not
that'd
happening.
Be a documentary.
So, yeah, that would be crazy.
Yeah, no, it's a pass on that game for me too. It feels like a slow-paced, 0-0 draw.
Wolfsburg have nothing to play for. They are firmly mid-table, and Mainz need a point. So not much going on there. But that's a really nice line.
I think I'm gonna lock in that under.
I think I'm going to lock in that over in the Berlin-Freiburg game. That's because over 3 goals in the Bundesliga happen so often. It's that's like the auto bet. It's like both teams to score over 2.5. Like the Bundesliga lives on that shit. Yeah, it was. I have to do the numbers when all these leagues wrap up, but for the longest time, the Bundesliga had the most goals per game. I think that might have changed because there have been a lot of goals in the Prem recently. It's got. I think it might be the
at like 3.35.
Yeah. I'll do my little end of season data nerd session, but we got a couple of weeks to wait.
Bundesliga is at 3.19, and Premier League is at 3.27. So they're down.
It's close.
Yeah.
Wow, that's rad. Maybe the Premier League was the Farmers League all along. But that's basically all the Bundesliga action, which takes us to Sunday. We have a couple of leagues wrapping up on Sunday. Let's start with the fun one. Start with the Premier League. And there is still a bunch of stuff at play here, even though the outcomes they're basically secured. But look, it's the final day. As much as I think City have this in the bag, if everyone remembers that amazing Aguero goal, I feel like we forget the context of that game. Man City found themselves down 2-1 to QPR, and QPR are about No, QPR are worse. I was about to say they're about on par. No, that season, they were significantly worse than West Ham are right now. So you never know what situation you can find yourselves in. Do I think City going to beat West Ham? Yes. But that doesn't mean it won't be exciting. It's the final day. And, I mean, West Ham have nothing to play for apart from David Moyes' last game. But
they already gave him a send-off, though.
Well, who knows? Yeah, well, because that was their last home game. But
is Sam talking as a sports bettor or an Arsenal fan?
I don't know. I mean, City's gonna fucking destroy them. Let's just call it like it is. I mean, it's gonna be like a 5-0. Just we're the champs. You're in our house, and I mean, Chelsea went there. Chelsea beat them 5-0.
Yeah,
with 25 shots, 14 on target, 70% possession. 5 XG, like it was a thrashing. You don't think City is going to do that to lock up,
I'm not saying they can't. I'm just saying there's potential for fun here. But if you think, I'll take my Arsenal hat off, put my betting hat on. If you think they're going to win 5-0, then boy, do I have a line for you because City's team total line is 3.5. So
I know it's crazy.
I'd prefer to take Liverpool's team total over 3.5 because I do think that if City get up 2-0 and it's like, I don't know, 20 minutes left in the match, I think they're just going to chill. I really do. I think they're going to be like, kick the freaking ball back and forth. If they get a goal, they get a goal. If not, they're going to start celebrating sooner than later.
I mean, I've heard that from City fans, from people on Twitter for the past month that, City's going to get up 2-0 in the first half, then they're going to sit back and they're going to make substitutions at half and rest for Champions League and rest for this. They're not fucking doing that. They're literally just going down people's throats right now.
Well, to be fair,
they're certainly not resting for Champions League. They're not resting for Champions League.
I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's what people were saying, a couple weeks ago.
When Grealish and Dalku are coming in and contributing to goals, like you're not going to tell them, "Hey, don't score a goal."
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like even if they brought in subs or did, you're bringing in Julian Alvarez and Grealish and like. I mean, these guys can go
Alvarez
right down on West Ham and score.
Alvarez has been screwing me because I've been betting Haaland last goal so frequently, and he screwed me like the last freaking 2 games because he comes in and scores like the 81st minute, and then they don't score the rest of the game.
Good. He needs like 10 minutes on the pitch, and he's going to find the net. He's so good.
He's so good.
And he's having a quote-unquote off season. He got like 27 goals. Like, oh, I'm sorry we're judging him against his literal record-breaking season.
Yeah,
that's still elite striker numbers. I don't care if he scored 5 against Luton. Like,
I truly feel like he doesn't get talked about enough, and it's because he's obviously in the shadow of Haaland and he doesn't start.
We're talking about Haaland now.
Man, he's like Alvarez.
Oh, Alvarez.
Yeah,
got you. That's fair.
But man, I mean, he's just
to win
the treble and the World Cup in the same year, I just don't think that was talked about enough. It's just crazy.
That's fair. And he did actually play in that World Cup, which is fair enough.
Yeah.
He actually contributed, so I'll give him credit where it's due. But no, he's had a very good season. He's almost put up the season double. He's got 11 goals and 9 assists.
And he doesn't start.
Yeah, which is crazy.
He's a bench player, which is wild.
He got a lot of starting games when Haaland was out hurt, which he has been out hurt a lot this season, to be fair. But no, So we have that City West Ham game
too.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah. So we got the City West Ham game. City probably going to just absolutely destroy them. We have Arsenal Everton, which Arsenal need to win, and that's all you can do. Now, the last time we played Everton on the last day of the season was a couple of years ago. I was actually at that game. This was 2022, so it wasn't our title-pushing season. We were in 5th place, and we needed – it's an all-too-familiar situation. We needed Spurs to lose to Norwich so that we could come top 4 if we won, and then Spurs beat Norwich 5-1, which sounds like an incredibly realistic scoreline for this City West Ham game. But, we can't think about that. We're going to do our job, and, it'll be interesting. We should beat them 3 or 4-0. I'm going to be playing Saka props because Saka is 1 assist away from getting his 10th assist, which he needs to maintain his little streak of double-digit goals, double-digit assists. So That's probably the only really
I took Saka 2+ first half shots.
I'm going to do that as well. I mean, I've been making so much money on that prop all season. I see no reason not to die on that hill.
I'm going to take Arsenal corner handicaps, but I haven't decided how I'm going to weight it. I don't know if I'm going to do a unit on the first half, a unit on full game, or just do a quarter unit on first half, 0.75 on full game. So, but it's going to, how it is. Dyche is going to play 9 behind the ball. He's going to try to muddy it up in the midfield. Kick balls out of the boundary. So, how it goes when you play Everton.
Yeah, we'll still destroy them though.
Yeah. I was leaning Arsenal team total over 2.5. It's at -1. Yeah, it's at -130 right now.
United. I needed more goals there. Oh no, not that game. I didn't need that one. Which game was I needed goals for Arsenal? I can't remember.
I bet Arsenal team total in the Man U game, and that was so stupid in hindsight. Like there are times when you're right. Sometimes you're like, it was a good read, bad outcome. Arsenal team total in the Man U game was a fucking terrible read, and I'm really pissed at myself for that. Like I was like, I watched Palace hang 4 on them, and I was like, Arsenal can do that, and it's just like, it's not the same. It's not the same. They care so much more about.
In Everton's last 7 games, they've conceded 7 goals. 6 of those goals were to Chelsea.
Wow.
But they've played like bottom of the table teams.
They've had a
1-0 to Sheffield, 1-1 to Luton, 1-0 to Brentford. They played, a struggling Liverpool, 2-0 to them, 2-0 to Forest, 1-0 to Burnley. Like their schedule at the end of the season here was just the bottom table. But then in the middle of that was a 6-0 beat down from Chelsea. And that's kind of what I'm basing it off. Yeah, that's what I'm basing off the team total for this one is like, okay, I mean, Arsenal beat Chelsea, like 5-0 or something like that, 5-0.
Yeah, they didn't have Palmer. Yeah. In that defense, they didn't have Palmer.
But we still outplayed them. Yeah, outplayed them. They put up 5 goals. It's still, and now you need a win. Yeah. I mean, 3 goals for Arsenal at home in this one seems definitely doable.
Very doable, especially at home. I agree. Well, that brings us very nicely into the only other bit of action that sort of actually holds meaning, which is the race for the final European spots. We have Chelsea, Newcastle, and Man U all fighting for it. And actually, technically, Spurs in 5th isn't necessarily secure as well. So I hadn't actually thought about that, but now that I look at the league table, this is hilarious. Think about where Spurs were. I'll never miss a chance. I'll never miss a chance to dunk on Spurs. Think about where Spurs were after about 2 months. Top of the league, hadn't lost a game. Their fans are saying, ooh, look at us. We're in a title race. We love Ange. Now look at them. They're in 5th place. They are only 3 points above Chelsea in one of their worst seasons ever. And Chelsea have more goal difference. That's so funny.
That's crazy.
Now Spurs are playing Sheffield. So, should they win that? Yeah, but I mean, the squad is at an all-time low, and the fan base now hates Ange because he had the audacity to say they should try and win games. So, God knows, but they should beat Sheffield. Put all that aside, they should beat Sheffield. So I'm assuming it's just going to be a race for 6th place here. But Chelsea played Bournemouth. Chelsea are at home against Bournemouth. Bournemouth have been playing very well, but so have Chelsea. And Chelsea are at home, and a win is going to get them 6th place. So it's hard to argue against that.
Yeah, I think it's Chelsea's to lose at this point, right? I mean, at home versus Bournemouth, that seems like a very winnable game for a team that's in serious form right now, playing really well.
That Bournemouth match is really tough for Bournemouth to get up for.
Yeah.
That too. Yeah, I mean, that too. They're sitting in the middle of the table with absolutely nothing to play for, and Chelsea's just, they're vibing right now. They're definitely clicking on all cylinders. So I think it's Chelsea. I think it's Chelsea's final spot for the European standing for sure.
Over the last 2 years on Matchday 38 and Championship Sunday, the home teams have won 75%.
Ooh, look at that.
Regardless of if they're good or not.
Huh. That's a fun little outcome. If only West Ham were playing at home. That would have. You could have given me some.
Release cockroaches at the hat or something.
Oh man.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna be outside the training ground setting off all the fireworks like those Arsenal fans were before the Spurs game. Even though City hadn't traveled down yet.
Throw a raccoon on the pitch, would you?
Yeah, that'd be great. Just really break up the play. That would be top tier. So we have that Chelsea Bournemouth game, and then we have the other teams involved in Newcastle and Man U. Newcastle have to play against Brentford away from home. So it's like that fun little mix of, I don't really respect Brentford at all right now. I don't care about their last game. And Newcastle aren't brilliant away from home. So it's just like, okay.
Yeah.
What's going to happen here, guys? So we're going to see a Newcastle trying to go and try and push because like they need to. So like, will you? God knows.
They played so much better against United and still didn't win.
But everyone plays better against United because Man U allows so many shots. It's crazy.
I like Newcastle money line in over 2.5. I mean, over in both teams to score. I like that better than just their money line. Like the thought of them keeping a clean sheet on the road doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, I mean, I have no play in this game, but
me either. I'm not betting.
I think both teams are going to score. I think it's going to be like a 2-1 type match, maybe 3-1. But yeah, Newcastle haven't kept a clean sheet in like 6 straight, 5 straight, something like that. So I think Brentford could get one at home at least.
You'd hope so, even though Tony has been in horrific form recently.
Yeah, he's been in really bad form.
Remember when everyone thought Arsenal were going to pay 80 million for Tony? Like, no, fuck no. That was never going to happen. There were some Arsenal fans who were really pushing for that one. I'm just like, yo, we can do so much better. We're not that kind of club anymore.
Well, when he came back from his suspension, he scored the first 2 games he was back, and then I feel like he hasn't done anything since.
Nope. Everyone forgot about him. He had a lot of hype when he came back, delivered on that hype, and then disappeared. Fucking Ivan Casper, the friendly ghost, Tony.
Oh my God.
And then the other game we're going to talk about is Brighton against Man U. I think this one could be a lot of fun because Brighton, even though they're not winning games, have finally remembered how to attack and shoot.
Yes.
And Man U concede so many shots. So this is going to be perfect. I'll go back to Adingra first half shots. If Pedro's on the wing, I'll trust him. But just give me Adingra on the wing. I like him as well. Give me Garnacho shots. If they put Anthony back, I would take Anthony. But I think Diallo is going to start at right wing.
I don't think Anthony's going to play.
Yeah, neither do I. But Diallo just had 3 first half shots and he scored and a fucking sick goal too.
Yeah,
he played good.
Really nice finish. He played really well. So Diallo first half shots, Adingra first half shots, Garnacho first half shots. I think this game will be super back and forth and a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think it's funny because De Zerbi doesn't let us sports bettors get in lines early. He freaking always tinkers with his little lineup to be tricky. But I like you said, if Pedro's on the wing or he's in the 10, I liked him at the 10 too. You're gonna take his first half shots. If not, we pivot to someone else.
Exactly, and it will be Adingra. Well, sometimes if I feel a little spicy, I take Buonanotte.
Oh, that's too spicy for me.
Well, sometimes they hang like plus 500 on him to get a couple of first half shots, and I'm like, that's simply too high for me. Like that, it's I can't ignore that because he pulls up from like 40 yards away. He might only take one shot all game, but if he does, he's pulling up from anywhere, and it's just like guys like that. I fucking love betting shots on.
Yeah, nothing for me in this game. I mean, all 3 of these games, the lines are juiced for obvious reasons. So I might be trying to just catch something live, but I think all 3 of these games have potential to be very exciting. I think it's going to be, a very exciting Sunday in the Premier League, I think.
Absolutely. As it should be. We deserve goals. We deserve drama. We deserve Arsenal winning the league. I think I speak for everyone when I say this. And it will be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. Having all the games on at the same time.
We can dream, Sam. We can dream.
We can. By the way, if we do win the league, I'm going to be absolutely fucking insufferable the next time we record. So
holy shit.
Get ready.
I'm not going to be here.
It'll just be me. Just being really happy about it the whole time.
We're just have to put like little mannequins up in our place and Sam could talk to them.
Yeah, exactly.
Cardboard cutouts of our heads.
Right? Yeah. Like I said in the last episode, hold the glass, bring just a bottle of whiskey on the table and just drink it off. And I'm like, yo, what's up, Brad? What's up?
He'll take care of the whole 45 minutes for us. We won't have to do anything.
Exactly. But that takes us very nicely out of England and brings us into France. There are actually a couple of games in France that look vaguely interesting because, like in England, they also have a race for the final spot in Europe. And we have Lens against Montpellier. I'm going to really put the accent on. And then Lyon against Strasbourg. So I'm just going to say Lens, even though I know it's Len, but I sound pretentious when I say that. So I'll be the obnoxious foreigner and I'll call them Lens. Lens are in 6th place right now, and they're on 50 points. And Lyon, can we just appreciate how well Lyon have done since the beginning of the season? I mean, they were in the relegation zone. And, I mean, it was bad. It was really bad. And now they're in 7th, which is just like, that's a pretty good turnaround, all things considered. And they actually have less goal difference because they sucked, but they're on even points. They're on even points. They're both on 50 points. And so it's really just going to be who gets the better result. If it's the same result, then well done, Lens. Lyon don't make it, but they'll be fine. So what do we think?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. This one's tough because I trust Lyon more. But the goal differential is not coming back. You're not coming back from that. So I don't know. And Lens is so inconsistent for me. Like I just can't. When I bet them, I'll bet them when they're like in form or playing well, and then all of a sudden they'll just lay an egg, and it's just like, what the fuck? So they're hard for me personally I can't get a good feel for them, and so I don't know. I mean, they should win this game. I mean, obviously, but I mean, I wish the goal differential was closer because I would definitely lean Lyon. They have just completely turned around their season, and I would love to see them, in European football.
Yeah.
Lens freaking suck, man. I think I just have like the
They've costed me so much money.
Yeah. I tell you what, though, fair enough. This is like a good example where a team got rid of their best player and actually didn't go to complete shit. Like I thought when they sold Openda last summer that they were just going to be completely in the mud. And they're still going to qualify for Europe. Like it's not Champions League football, but going from 3rd or 4th wherever they came last year to coming 6th, assuming they get a result here, is after selling your best striker who had like over 20 goals. That's a good result. So considering how poorly some teams have handled those situations, looking at you, Union Berlin, that's a good result, all things considered. Even if they lose it on the final day, I still think they've done relatively well.
Yeah, I mean, I think Lens would be okay with a 1-0 game. They're that kind of team, and I think at home they can really slow the pace down. Lyon can really get into shootouts. I mean, they could concede 2 goals but still end up winning. And that game I would lean goals for sure. Maybe even on both sides, but the Lens game just feels like it's going to be slow paced. Maybe they get Lens scores first and then shuts it down.
I just want to see my boy Gift Orban. I'm so happy he went to Lyon, but because he used to be an absolute moneymaker. I always had a soft spot for him ever since he cashed my hat trick at like 120 to 1. That was so fucking sick. In 4 minutes. 3 goals in 4 minutes.
That's lovely.
That's great. That's so crazy.
Yeah. I mean, I still don't get why Lacazette gets game time over him. I think you should just play them both, but who am I to argue?
I don't get that either, why they don't play both. I wish they would.
Yeah. But, who am I to argue with them? They went from the relegation zone to challenging for a Europa League spot. So fair enough, But that's all so those are the leagues that are actually wrapping up. So the Bundesliga, Premier League, and Ligue 1 will be done after this weekend. The only other game I really wanted to talk about was Villarreal against Madrid over in La Liga. Firstly, La Liga are doing this weird thing where all of their teams are playing at the same time. And I don't know why they're doing that, because that's something you do on the final day, but they play a week later. Do you guys know why they're doing that? Because I hold my hands up. I'm not a massive La Liga guy, but that's weird.
I don't know. I was saying something about Villarreal, and then I was like, wait,
I was waiting for a really good reason for why they don't. I'm like, oh, maybe Brad knows.
I dropped this really compelling thing.
Yeah, I was like,
I was waiting for it.
Day in Spain, and the president loves one. No, I have no idea.
It's just so weird. It's just I literally just 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock, 1 o'clock, and I'm just looking at it, and I'm just like, oh, it must be the last game of the season, but the math doesn't add up. And then I scroll on to the next week, and I'm like, Oh, and then they all play at the same time next weekend. Okay, that's really weird. I don't know why they do that. But Villarreal against Madrid. I want to talk about that one because the Champions League final is coming up. And so it's getting to that point of the season where I'm just like, do you keep playing your second string guys? You know, you like let Arda Güler play it. You let Joselu get a start instead of coming off the bench. Or do you start playing your guys who are going to be your main starting 11? And I'm not the Madrid fan, so I won't speak on this. But
You keep
what do you
playing
guys
your
think?
guys. I think you're still too far away to be sitting them out.
Yeah, I mean, they played them last week or last match, you know, and just
They played a
absolutely,
killer lineup.
yeah. I mean, and I think that's what they were, you know, trying to do, prep for Champions League. I feel like this one could be a little bit of a rest spot, and then on their final match of the season, they kind of do what they did last match and just play like the starters and just have it, you know, like they're ready to go for Champions League. It doesn't really matter who they put in at this point. It just feels like Madrid players and the lineup and everything are just clicking at the right time.
Yeah.
That's what you need. So
I know.
I suppose it's time to bring back this fun little debate we had a couple of weeks ago. Remember when I said that
Here we go.
Courtois should start in this Champions League final, and then everyone on Twitter was like, "No, give it to Lunin. He deserves it." And I was like, "Why?" And nobody really gave me a good answer.
He did deserve it. He did
He
deserve
does
it.
deserve it.
Why though? Why?
He does deserve it, but he's
big
probably
difference
not
in-
going to play.
Yeah, there's a big
He
difference
does-
in making the right move and deserving something.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the
so
right move
happy.
is to play Courtois. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just a given.
Nice. There we go. So you guys agree with me?
Yeah, I mean, I never
Disagreed
disagreed with you.
Who
Yeah,
deserves to start?
yeah, I
I don't
definitely
know.
never disagreed with you.
I thought you guys were saying. I thought you guys were probably on the Lunin train.
I was saying he deserved to start.
Same.
He did.
I was.
He did everything he needed to.
Yeah, but
It was that kind soul inside of me that was just like would feel bad for him if
Yeah.
he didn't. But then, you know, you said today he wouldn't be a true, you know, he wouldn't be a Madristan if he didn't, you know, if he didn't do his job, which was fill in while Courtois was out. Courtois was back. Just had a 10-save game. I think he's in form and ready to go.
That's what I'm saying. I mean, I know it was against like a pretty shit squad, but
still, I mean,
he did his job. Lunin has done his job very well, and his time will come. I mean, he's been at Madrid for what, 5 years? He's been out on loan for a couple of them. He's been playing second string. You know, I feel like if he was a guy that was going to get pissed off by not playing, he'd have left by now. You know, clearly he's okay being a backup, and the reason he got all this playing time is because Courtois, you know, tore his ACL and then injured himself again a second time, like right as he was about to come back from that. So, you know, he did his job, and fair play to him. Now we know he can be Madrid's starting keeper. But I feel like while you have Courtois fit and healthy and ready to go, Courtois is the guy. He is the guy. Best performance of a keeper in a Champions League final.
Fair.
Hard to argue with that.
Fair. Checkmate.
I mean,
I just knocked my king over.
I can't argue with it. Like I mean, would you say he's the best keeper in the world?
Yeah, when he's fully fit and healthy, I would say, yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, it's hard not to play that in a Champions League final.
Mm-hmm. True.
Yeah, exactly. All righty. Well, do you know what? That gives me a nice little sense of satisfaction. I really feel like the general public was really against me a couple of weeks ago, and I feel like public perception is starting to shift now that Ancelotti's finally leaning that way, because, you know, I feel like the right answer in this situation is trust Ancelotti. Ancelotti knows what he's doing. And that's basically what I said. I was like, if Ancelotti says he's fit to play, he's fit to play. Who am I to argue with him? So nice. Nice.
I'll be happy with whoever he puts in net, but you got to think it's going to be Courtois.
Yeah. That being said, still want Dortmund to win, you know. As much as I've supported Madrid this whole time, we're sitting on 45-1 futures here.
I don't give up.
Don't give me that face. Don't give me that face.
Don't give up. If Dortmund win, I won't be on this podcast anymore.
Love to bring out the mannequins again.
Yeah.
Holy shit. Might as well find a replacement.
You'll be fine. You've got what, like 14 or 15 Champions Leagues? What's one for Dortmund? You know, let them have it.
Dortmund win. That would be like one of the biggest upsets, like ever.
Oh, for sure.
They went through the gauntlet to get there. No one no one believed they had a chance. And
No.
holy crap.
I thought they were going to be done by the group stages. I think most people did.
Yeah.
And then every time there was a new draw, they were like, Dortmund's the easy team. And like, relatively speaking, they were. I fucking loved that Hummels tweet, like after they beat PSG, when he was just like, so many teams wanted to play us, so we made sure we got to everyone. And I was just like, that's top tier banter.
That was lit. I was like, holy shit, that was great.
Absolute dagger. Is there any other games this weekend that you guys want to talk about?
I'll give out my best bet. Crystal Palace money line playing against Aston Villa. I just think this is a smash spot because all season Villa have been trying to just get to the postseason, right? They're so banged up. Their guys are so tired. I think we see a lot of youngsters playing this game too. And then it just happens that Villa are playing, Palace are playing absolutely out of their mind. And also, this is a good chance to get some action on Elise. His prices are nice, and he just got left out of France's squad. So
how did he get left out of the French squad? Oh my god!
I just thought the only person you could take out was Conte.
Crazy. I don't know. I mean, I know they have.
I will be honest. Like, I'm not watching enough Saudi football to know if Conte is still the better option than Elise.
Well, they play different positions.
But while I was talking about out of the midfield, I looked at like that lineup. Like, you're not taking anybody. You're not taking any of those forwards out. You're not taking any of your defenders out. So you have to take someone out of the midfield.
I guess.
And so who would you? And then like that midfield, you're not taking out Tchouaméni. You're not taking out Rabiot. You're not like. There's just so many people who else in that midfield. Camavinga, you're not taking him out. Maybe no, you're not taking out Fofana. You're not taking out Griezmann.
I mean,
Maybe
France is
Zaire Emery?
stacked. I mean, they're absolutely stacked.
So like Zaire Emery or Conte, those are the only two guys you're gonna take out because you can't take anybody else out.
I probably wouldn't have bought Thuram, honestly.
Why? You have to bring Thuram.
I don't think you have to.
I think you do.
I don't know. Or Barcola. Or Muani.
Maybe. Okay, I was kind of shocked Muani. Like, you don't need to bring Muani.
Yeah, it's
You're
like
right.
You have a striker. Like Giroud's going to get game time over Kolo Muani.
Yep.
Which is also a choice. Which
Thuram is not Giroud. Like Muani, I don't think he's going to see the pitch unless they're playing in one of those dumb matches where it doesn't matter.
Yeah,
I would have loved to see Olise with Mbappe.
Oh my god!
I know.
I would have absolutely fucking loved to see that.
No, I was shocked Olise didn't make the squad. But then when I looked at the squad, and I'm just like,
yeah, I mean,
I could have made room for him. Thuram's had a good season, but you could easily Barcola's had Barcola getting in. That's PSG tax. That's massive fucking
that
PSG
is 100%
tax.
PSG tax. But you're not. Yeah. But I'm saying you're not taking Thuram out. Not with this squad. Like, because then that just leaves you Giroud. The way they play, that just leaves you Giroud up top.
Yeah, I guess that's true. But then, like, bringing Giroud, Kolo Muani, and Thuram, that's a lot of strikers.
Kolo Muani could probably get off the team.
Yeah, or Barcola. I take Barcola out, honestly. If you put them head to head, it's the guy plays for PSG.
Yeah,
like there's no way you can tell me Elise. If it's because of like fitness concerns, I would kind of get it. But he's been back and healthy for like a month now.
I'm really confused of why he was like left off. Like,
yeah,
it's a choice. I was just surprised. I was shocked.
Yeah, I'm surprised too. Maybe he changes his nationality
to Nigerian.
Yeah, because it's not going to be. I would love him for England, but he's not going to. We have too many wingers, so it wouldn't be England.
He can play for like 60 fucking teams.
Yeah, Nigeria would be sick, but also Nigeria have a magic fuck ton of attackers too.
Yeah, they do.
That's
all they have.
Osimhen. Yeah, that's literally like they could play with like 5 attackers if they really wanted to, but he would still be a baller for them. Like Osimhen, Chukwueze, Boniface. Like they got so many guys. It's crazy. It's a sick squad though.
Yeah, it is.
Very high, very, very excited. This is like the best time when like the squads start coming out because now I could really get my head around European squads and Copa America. It's gonna be a lot of fun. I know we said this last time, but I'm gonna keep saying it until it starts coming around. I'm so looking forward to the summer. It's gonna be absolutely electric.
I'm so excited.
Well, Brad's already done his best bet, which kind of killed my transition, but I'll bring it back right here. Let's do
how good you make out.
Oh yeah. Well, we've got one best bet from Brad. Now let's do the rest of the best bets. Yeah, look at that. See? Nailed it. Yeah, not that people can't listen and can't see that, but my tongue was out for all of that.
My God, this is getting weird.
But
Yeah,
I like it, baby.
I'm going to MLS for my best bet.
Nice.
Saturday night, late night, 10:30 Eastern Standard Time. San Jose hosting Orlando. Orlando's actually been their away games have seen a ton more goals versus their home matches. And San Jose has really been underperforming this season. They're conceding a ton of goals, but their offense and attack are, top tier in my opinion. Over 2.5 goals for San Jose is hit in the last 8 out of 10. Both teams to score is hit in the last 5 out of 6. Both teams to score is hit in the last 5 out of 7 for Orlando. And then head to head, the last 4 out of 5 have seen over 2.5 goals. So in this one, I'm going over 2.5 at -130.
I like that a lot. San Jose look really good. I know they haven't been performing results wise, but I watched that game against Portland last night because MLS After Dark always fucking delivers. It's always so much fun. And San Jose
playing good till the red card.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit of a bullshit red card, honestly. But they've just, I think at the start of the season, everyone was just like, okay, they brought in Pellegrino. It's a really good signing. You have your front three of Pellegrino on the left, Ebabise at striker, and then Espinoza, who is an absolute baller at right wing. And everyone was just kind of like, okay, it's a pretty good front three. But I was saying, and a couple other guys were saying, they really need that, like, a proper number 10 just to really sort of link that together because they weren't really getting the ball to that fantastic front three. And they just brought in this guy called Hernan Lopez. Yeah, Hernan Lopez.
He's been awesome.
League. Yep. He made his MLS debut last week, scored a goal. I cashed his goal at like plus 450. Played midweek. I took his goal again at plus 400. Scored again. And it was a sick goal too. I mean, it was a stupid giveaway, but he like chipped the keeper from 30 yards out. And I was just like, yeah, this is the missing link. This is the guy that's now going to get the ball from midfield. And if he's not going to score himself, he's going to get it to one of those front three. So I'm really excited to see. This game's going to be good. I don't know if Orlando get a goal, but also San Jose's defenses look so fucking shit that they really should. But I'm just disappointed with Orlando this season in general. They've been severely underperforming where I had them at, and I have to stare at this fucking MLS Cup future, and that just looks so shit.
I agree. Like when the season started and they brought in some of their signings, I was like,
Muriel.
Muriel. I was like, this Orlando squad's going to be good. Like they're going to be good. But they're home. So at home, they've only won one game. They've only scored 6. They've only scored 6 goals in those 7 games.
Yeah.
And then on the road, they've won 2 out of 5, but have scored 8 goals in those 5 games, but have also conceded 13. So they're conceding over 2 goals a game on the road. I mean, this San Jose team could score 3 alone, but I think Orlando. I agree. I think Orlando can sneak 1. They seem to be doing that on the road. I don't know if it's just like at home they're playing really like passive and they're just
it's not good.
I don't know. Yeah, they're just not attacking at all when they're at home for some reason.
Well, that's what they used to be really good at. They used to be, and that's why that's why I took a future out on them because they're such a good playoff team because they usually finish like the top 4, so they keep that home advantage for a while. But then they are like one of the best teams, at least last year, at like grinding out that 1-0. They'll find the goal somehow, but then especially at home, they are so defensively sound that I was like, they're not necessarily a fun team to bet on unless you love betting an under. Like I used to do, you could get Orlando money line or you could do Orlando double chance and under 3.5, and that was usually a really nice bet if you could get that on the right side of minus 130 or something like that. That would always be really nice. But this season they're just not getting that goal, and that's the thing. Like the games are staying kind of low scoring, but they're just not getting that dagger, which they had been getting, which is weird.
Midweek 0-0 to hosting Inter Miami. I mean, I know Messi wasn't playing, but still, like it's Inter Miami who have loads of skill, who can score goals, and in this game was just like it was kind of sluggish. It was 0.69 xG for Orlando, 0.6 xG for Inter Miami. That's gross. Nothing happened.
Yeah, that's crazy. What number did you get on over 2.5? Because I really like that.
Yeah, the best number I saw was Bet365 at -130.
Okay, so what about on a book that everyone has?
I didn't look on. Because
congrats on your Bet365 line.
Well, I mean, if you want to shop around the best line, that's the way to do it.
Oh gosh, I'll shop it around. I won't make you do the work now. But you know why they call it Bet365, right? It's because only 365 people have access to that fucking book.
Yeah, for real.
It's the
So
best
nice.
book, though.
It's a sick book. No, it's a sick book. I have to make trips to Jersey. Thank God, Jersey's like a train right away. Make trips to Jersey so I can bet on Call of Duty because New York decided to nuke Prize Picks.
All right, so on FanDuel, it's minus 132. Still
Beautiful.
playable.
That's incredibly playable. Love that.
There you go.
Alrighty, I will round off these best bets. I'm going to go back to something I mentioned earlier, which is Saka assist. A few other books haven't even got that market listed yet, but I'll still probably be taking it on FanDuel anyway, just because of the very generous way that FanDuel grades assists. It's plus 140, and he needs one more assist to get to 10. And I'm really hoping that we are aware of that. And it's a bummer because if he doesn't get that, I feel like he's going to get blamed for it when if you look at the assist leaderboards in the Premier League and you look at, like if you go on FOTMob, for example, you can see their assists and then right next to them, you can see their expected assists. And almost everyone outperforms their expected assists just because that's kind of just how it works. Most people aren't scoring a goal on 1xG. You're usually creating a goal out of, a fairly difficult chunk. And so usually for assists, you see guys outperform their expected assists. In the top 20 guys with assists, like on the top 20 assists in like the Premier League leaderboard, the only guys that have higher expected assists, Odegaard and Saka, which is crazy because Arsenal have such a good attack this year. You would think that wouldn't be a problem, but when you watch Arsenal, oh my God, we are just desperate for a striker that can score 20 goals a season.
I saw you talk about Sesko.
Give me Sesko. I think that's such a realistic signing. I'd love Osimhen, but if we can't get him, if we're not getting like Vlahovic, I'm not even sure if I want Vlahovic. I mean, he'd be an upgrade on what we've got going on right now, but we'll see. He spurned us before, so frankly, fuck him. But Sesko is like a Dzeko that can still move very fast and strike the ball incredibly well. Dude's like 6'5". He's got such great presence, and I would I'd love a striker like that. But sadly, we don't have one of those against Everton. But honestly, I'm expecting 3, 4, 5 goals against Everton. And if Saka can't get me an assist, whether it's a legit assist or it's a FanDuel assist, if he gets a shot on target and someone scores the rebound, or he forces an own goal, that would be a FanDuel assist as well, which would be great. So give me something like that because I want this man to get to 10 assists. And that's, plus 140 is a very nice number considering his to score or assist is like minus 190. So give me that assist number.
Is that on FanDuel?
Yeah, that's on FanDuel because a few other books don't even have it listed. And if someone hangs like
and the good thing about FanDuel is you get a FanDuel assist.
That's
what
I'm talking about.
You could get a FanDuel assist. Yeah.
That's what I've been talking about.
Which is always awesome.
It's not as in play because if he got fouled for a penalty, then he would most likely take that penalty, so he wouldn't get it that way, which is always kind of a bummer. But he could force an own goal. The problem is that I'm taking this bet because I want him to get the assist, and a FanDuel assist would not go towards his record like whatsoever, but it would make me money. So I would take the cash and just be sad that he's not going to maintain that record. But I hope it's a legitimate assist because Salah just broke the record and I think he's now had 5 or 6 straight seasons of double-digit goals, double-digit assists, and I want Saka to be in that club, baby.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
So that wraps it up. That wraps up our best bets and our coverage of the weekend slate. Gentlemen, anything else that you would like to talk about and or plug?
No, man. I'll just talk about follow me on the old X machine at MrBradThomas, and make sure you check out my NBC Sports Power Rankings article, the last one of the season. But don't worry, guys. I'm going to cover every single Premier League team this offseason with bets and team news, give you some familiarity with the new teams coming in the Premier League as well.
Look at that.
Awesome. Yeah, follow me on X, Betting the Pitch, and all my plays are posted at Gold Boys Discord.
Beautiful, beautiful. You can follow me on Twitter at FIFA Brit. And you can find all of our plays in the Gold Boys Discord. You can sign up at goldboys.com. Great time to sign up. We've got NBA playoffs, which, to be fair, tonight's game wasn't a brilliant example because it was like a 50-point blowout. But outside of that, NBA playoffs are going on. We've got baseball going on. And soccer-wise, we are gearing up for a fantastic summer of Euros, Copa America, and, of course, MLS. Like I said last time, those 3 tournaments are equal in my eyes, and I'm looking forward to all 3 of them. Thank you again to the Gold Boys Network for continuing to host this podcast, even though we are incredibly chaotic. And yeah, I'm looking forward to this weekend. You know, I'm going in with no hope, and maybe I'm giving a little bit of hope. But honestly, I would prefer City to just destroy them like 4-0 in the first half just to rip the Band-Aid off. Don't give me a 0-0 until like the 70th minute, because then I'm going to start believing again. But yeah, should be a good weekend. I look forward to chatting with you guys when the season is done. We can go through our end of season awards, which will be a good time as well. And yeah, good seeing you boys. I'll catch you in the next one. Mwah.